What does it mean to be a healthy human being in all different areas of your life? Mentally, emotionally, spiritual, physically, financially, relationally. Let's get even clearer about personalized health and like what's happening now. I don't want that to be me. I want to be as healthy as possible. If I don't call, everything's fine. That was the biggest answer you get, right? Something never sat right with me about that. It's like getting a lab test you wish your doctor would run, but is never going to. There's something called your biological age. This is how old your body actually functions at a cellular level. If you're taking great care of yourself, you might be 60, but your biological age could be a variant of a 40-year-old. The great news is that the biological age that you are is reversible. These metrics give you actual window into your biological age and into the health of your cells. This has enabled me to become, a participant in my healing, not just a patient. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Coachable Podcast. This is the show where we explore the tools and truths and transformation that help us build lives that feel as good as they look. And today I'm going to be talking about something that I think a lot of us are craving, and that's clarity. Not the kind that you get from, some kind of psychic reading or journaling session, though, I love those too. But the kind that comes from having hard data from your body, and more specifically from your blood. So I want to kind of just set the scene for you.
I want to take a moment to share about a powerful mental health resource that has been a total game changer for me, and that's Anywhere Clinic. For the past 2.5 years, I've been working with an online psychiatric provider, and the impact has truly been incredible because therapy isn't just a tool for crisis moments. It's a tool for personal growth, emotional mastery, and overall wellness. And with Anywhere Clinic, you can get virtual expert care from the comfort of your home. Whether you're exploring ketamine therapy, you need medication management, or just a supportive guide, it's time to prioritize you. And you can by visiting anywhereclinic.com. You can book an online appointment for as low as $120 or check and see if your insurance covers it. So go to anywhereclinic.com because your mental health deserves it.
A few years ago, I was doing all the things, right? I was, doing the breath work and the meditation and the journaling and the self-reflection, but like something wasn't right internally. Like I felt off. I was fatigued. I had low libido. I wasn't interested, my creativity was like not there. I was struggling with sleep. There were several things that, just like didn't feel like they were adding up, and I wasn't my best. I wasn't my sharpest. Right. And it was at that point that I felt like there were some things I needed to address. One, I had been on hormonal birth control since I was like 17, and that had had a huge impact on me in ways I didn't understand at the time. Also at the time, well, this is still true, I'd had a lot of familial loss. My had a lot of like family medical history that wasn't the best. And so I thought, it's probably important that I take care of my health and start looking under the hood a little bit about what's actually going on. And that's when I was introduced to functional medicine for the first time. And I went to a functional health doctor in Atlanta when I was living there and got some blood work done and found out that my female hormones were all over the place. And that had a big, impact on how I was feeling. And that became empowering because I ended up taking out my IUD and getting off birth control. I also, at the time, was had been on and off antidepressants for a while. At that point, I wasn't on them, but, I was just trying to like fine tune. I was like, what's actually the issue? I had been diagnosed with ADHD in my early 20s. And so I was like, I don't know if it's hormones. I don't know if it's ADHD. I don't know if it's PTSD from all the stuff I've been through. I don't know if I'm just like not sleeping because I don't have the right pillow at night. Like, I don't know. Right. And it's so frustrating when it feels like despite everything that you're doing, that feels like you're doing all the right things, something's off. Like whether you're just like foggy or you've got brain fog or you can't focus or whatever. And, I just realized like something was off and something wasn't working. And when I went to the functional health doctor, that was, a big piece of it was just like sort of starting to get informed about what the truth was in terms of my health at the time. Now, that supported me then because I made a few changes. And, in my journey, and I've shared this on the show before, like this past year has been the first year I've been so intentionally dialed into my physical health. Not just like getting in the gym more and like eating healthier, even though those have been like two major things, is like my fitness and nutrition, but also just overall health. Like the thing that I've been thinking about most is like, what does it mean to be a healthy human? Like really, I'm not just saying physically healthy, but like, what does it mean to be a healthy human being in all different areas of your life? Mentally, emotionally, spiritual, physically, financially, relationally, like, because sometimes we're healthy in one area and like sick in another, right? Or multiple. And so my goal and my mission in my life is to be the healthiest I can be. And so this year was like, let's get really serious about our physical health. Let's dial in the nutrition. Let's get like a great fitness regimen that's like going to work for you that you're excited about. And let's get even clearer about personalized health and like what's happening now. Like let's get a baseline for how healthy are you? And so that's when I heard about Function Health. And if you don't know what Function Health is, I heard about them probably like 4 or 5 months ago. A friend of mine reached out and she was like, Tori, have you heard about this company? It's from Dr. Mark Hyman, who's a very, very well-known functional doctor, and has a huge following, and it's his company and you should really check it out. And so I got online and started doing some research, and I had no idea that this kind of company or offering service existed. And mind you, I come from a family that has had a lot of illness. My sister died of leukemia at 23. My mom died of ovarian cancer, at 64. My dad has had diabetes and had, heart attacks in the past. Like all families have something, right? But that my family had a lot. And I was like, I don't want that to be me. I want to be as healthy as possible. I don't want to ignore certain symptoms and then get down the road later and like have this chronic disease or something that I can't reverse because I didn't pay attention to my body, And a lot of times for me personally, what my, medical history looked like was just like after I lost my mom and my sister, my doctor, my primary care started thinking, you're high risk for cancer. So we need to monitor you and we need to like take blood work once a year. And so I did that, but I never knew the results, right? He would take some blood work and like never call. And he was like, if I don't call, everything's fine. That was the biggest answer you get, right? And something never sat right with me about that. And that's why I really love Function Health. And so here's what makes it different. Basically, Function Health is an online platform. And you can sign up for a membership. And basically, when you sign up for a membership, I think it's like $4.99 a year, which is, to me, the value that you get for $499 is so much more valuable. But basically what happens as part of this membership is you get access to medical testing that your primary care doctor is never going to do for you. And if so, it's likely going to cost a ton of money. So basically Function gives you over 100 plus different biomarkers. When you sign up for the membership, you set an appointment with your local Quest Diagnostics. You go twice, and in that you go onto their platform and they show you 100 different plus biomarkers. across every major system of your body, your liver, your hormones, your stress, autoimmune, pancreas, kidneys, micronutrients, everything. And basically it's like getting a lab test you wish your doctor would run, but is never going to. And so I did this and I was so surprised by the results. I had no idea, initially what to expect. But the process was super easy. Signing up for it was super easy. Setting my Quest Diagnostics appointment was really easy. One thing I'll note for women is there's sort of specific days they want you to go around your cycle so that your hormones levels are correct. So I think I had my first appointment, I had to go on like the third or fourth day of my cycle, and then you go 10 days later. And they take 7 vials, I think, each time. And the second time I went, they also took a urine sample. And within a few days, my online portal started populating with information, and the amount of information I was getting about my health was crazy to me. So one thing I didn't know is that there's something called your biological age. Okay. And we all have our chronological age. I'm 34 years old. 34. Like, am I? But there's something that is called your biological age. And this is how old your body actually functions at a cellular level. So it's not your calendar age. It's not your birthday. And the wild part is that your biological age can be younger or older than your actual age. And it's calculated by all these different markers. And for me, basically, I'll tell you what mine is in just a minute, but essentially you could be 40 on paper, but your body might be functioning at a cellular level like it's 60. And by doing Function Health, it tells you. So if you're taking great care of yourself, you might be 60, but your biological age could be a variant of a 40-year-old. And that's so validating and helpful to know, right? If the way in which you're taking care of yourself, maybe the supplements or the workouts or the diet that you're on is actually working, or if it's not. So what I didn't understand is how, what affects your biological age. And what I learned through this program is everything it does. What you eat, how you move, how well you sleep, the quality of your relationships, how much you stress that you carry, and the toxins in your environment. All of these things either speed up or slow down how fast your cells age. And the great news is that the biological age that you are is reversible. So you literally can Benjamin Button this stuff. Okay. Now we're getting into biohacking and longevity. And I'm telling you, this is not a woo-woo claim. There's real science that's showing your daily choices influence your genes. And you can look up epigenetics and you can look up Function Health. But for example, strength training, reducing your sugar, eating whole foods, having good fats or fiber or sleeping, managing your stress, reducing toxic exposure. These are all things that aren't just wellness trends, even though they are. They're literally ways to reprogram your body to heal and repair and thrive. And so when you do that consistently, it shows up in your biomarkers. It shows up in things like your liver and your kidney function, your inflammation levels, your blood sugar, your immune response. And these are all the data points that Function Health is measuring. And they're all the data points that reflect how well your body is aging. So what I was able to find out, they take 100 biomarkers. I'm 34 years old. My biological age is 18. Crazy to think. Also extremely validating for me because what I'm learning is what I'm doing is working. But there were just a few, I was nutrient deficient in a couple things like vitamin D, which a lot of us are, omegas. But what's great is like, it will give you a customized and personalized supplement plan. And like all these doctors look at your biomarkers and give you a recommendation. And one of the cool things that I learned through using Function Health is that these metrics give you actual window into your biological age and into the health of your cells. And they're like these bookmarks in your DNA that tell the story of how your body's aging, and not just, how many trips around the sun you've made. So if you've ever kind of felt like your body isn't keeping up with the life that you want to live, or you don't have the energy that you might want, like what I encourage everybody to do is like, stop guessing, stop throwing darts at a board, like with your eyes closed, and you can start actually listening and learning about your biology and what it's actually telling you. And I personally think it's so worth it because it's so empowering and gives you the data. Like in this case, knowledge is powerful because then you can take this information, you take it to your primary care doctor, and they can like actually have useful information to create a personalized care plan for you. And it's not just about getting the information, it's about what you do about it, right? What you do with it. And so what I love is that it explains how the results of your, of this changes, like your protocol. So your diet or your supplements or your breath work or your training or your rest, and you can connect it to like what you do. You can look at how this might be causing some root cause issues, and you can see it through a data informed lens, right? And that starts to take the guesswork out of healing. And I know a lot of people who struggle with gut issues, autoimmune issues, chronic fatigue, mold, toxic exposure, like all of these things. And the other thing that I love outside of the, the traditional plan that Function comes with, there's so many additional tests you can get. And so instead of trying every supplement under the sun or, hoping that something sticks, you can be more precise. And it's really, really effective. And so I truly believe that this is the future of personalized health. Like this is the future of health. And it's looking at what your body is specifically made up of and how you can tailor that and custom your healthcare plan to your body. And in my experience, this has enabled me to become, a participant in my healing, not just a patient. And that makes me feel so good. Like I'm not just living in this reactivity mode of waiting until symptoms pop up and then trying to like bandage them with a Band-Aid and like just take more medicine. That's not what I'm personally trying to do. I want to be preventative. I want to be on top of it. I want to see what could be coming down the line and do the lifestyle and behavioral changes now to support me in being the healthiest I can be. Right. And so I wanted to share this with you guys because I've been telling so many of my friends in my community about this, and it's something I haven't been able to stop talking about, because it's truly, made a difference in my life, and people can see the results of how I'm making these shifts and these changes in my physical body. And I haven't felt more myself and more clear and more grounded than I ever have. And the truth is, data is a part of this, but data alone isn't just going to heal you. It's about how you use it and what you do with it. And so I've learned to integrate combining the science of function health, or like understanding what's happening underneath the surface, with the intuition of just being regulated and connected to my body and listening to my body, because your body's always talking to you. And sometimes it's through symptoms, and sometimes it's through, pain or something feeling off or not working. But listen to that, right? And pay attention. And if you can, I encourage you to check out Function, because it's really empowered me to take control of my health this year. And if you're interested, what I'm going to do is put a link in the show notes. If you go through that link, I believe you get some kind of discount with Function Health if you want to get their membership and get your testing done. I really trust them. I really enjoyed the experience. This is not a paid ad by any means. I don't get any compensation on the back end of this. Like, they're not a sponsor of the show. I'm simply sharing this because it's been something that has really made a difference in my life, and I can't stop sharing with the people that I love. And I want, to share it with you guys because I love you and I want you to be healthy. I want you to be thriving. I want you to be vibrant. I want you to be vital. I want you to feel alive, and I want you to live as long as fucking possible because, literally we can have lives that really feel good. But we might have to make some adjustments and some changes and get some information. And hopefully this helps you on your journey to health and wholeness, because it certainly helped me. So if this could potentially help someone else that that might be struggling or having a lot of questions around their health uncertainty, this might be something that could support them. Had a roommate recently who was struggling with some gut issues, and at least for me, I know now everybody loves going to ChatGPT to ask it about your symptoms, right? And be like, what's going on with me? And so we're asking AI to be our doctor now, but what if you could also take this data and put it into AI? That's what I did. I was able to take 100 plus biomarkers and put it into ChatGPT and then create a personalized custom plan for myself. That's next level. That's actually going to move the needle. So hopefully you guys check it out. If you do, I'd love to hear what your experience is like. Let me know in the comments if you've enjoyed this. If you know somebody it would help, share it with them. All right. That's it for this week. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next week on the Coachable Podcast. Bye.